What if a company told you they built something so dangerous they couldn't let you have it? And what if the real story wasn't about the danger at all? This week, Anthropic, the AI company that has built its entire brand around being the responsible one, made a stunning announcement. They said they had created a new AI model called Mythos, and then they said they were locking it away. Too powerful, they warned, too dangerous for public release. The cybersecurity risks, they said, were catastrophic. The reaction was immediate. The U.S. Treasury Secretary called in the heads of major banks. A British MP wrote an urgent letter to his government. Social media exploded. Anthropic had done something remarkable. They had made the world afraid of a product they weren't even selling. But here's where things get interesting. Within days, the skeptics started asking a very uncomfortable question. If Mythos is so dangerous, why does no one outside Anthropic actually know what it can do? Dr. Heidi Kloth, one of the leading AI safety scientists in the world, said the model's claimed capabilities were simply not substantiated. The announcement, she said, used deliberately vague language, the kind that makes headlines without inviting scrutiny. And when you can't scrutinize something, you can't challenge it. You can only fear it or fund it. Because here's the thing about Anthropic that most people don't realize. This is a company in a desperate race, not just for technology, but for money. Billions of dollars of investment money. And in that race, perception is everything. Think about what Anthropic has pulled off in just the last few months. A 10,000-word profile in The New Yorker, 2 Wall Street Journal features, the front cover of Time magazine with their CEO's face above the Pentagon like a movie poster. Their resident philosopher gave interviews about whether their AI has a soul. A soul for a product being used to designate missile targets. And now Mythos, an AI so powerful they heroically chose not to release it. One cybersecurity expert, Jameson O'Reilly, who has spent over a decade breaking into banks, governments, and critical infrastructure for a living, put it plainly. Yes, Mythos is real, but some of its most dramatic claims, like finding thousands of previously unknown security flaws in major operating systems, don't actually mean what Anthropic implied they meant. In real offensive cybersecurity, those kinds of vulnerabilities almost never matter. In 10 years and hundreds of operations, his team almost never needed one. So what is Mythos really? It might be a genuine leap forward. It might be a strategic announcement designed to signal dominance in a crowded market. It might be both. Here's what we know for certain. The same week Anthropic announced this world-altering, too dangerous to release AI, they also quietly admitted they had accidentally leaked part of their internal source code to the public. A company claiming stewardship over the most dangerous cybersecurity risks in human history had a basic operational security failure. Any other Silicon Valley giant would have been mocked for weeks. Anthropic barely got a footnote. And that is the real story here. Because what Anthropic has figured out, perhaps better than any company in the history of tech, is that in the AI era, narrative is power. They've positioned themselves as the adults in the room, the responsible ones, the ones who care. And that positioning is worth billions because it creates something their rivals desperately lack: trust. OpenAI gets headlines for chaos. Google gets headlines for playing catch-up. Anthropic gets headlines for wisdom. But some insiders are starting to whisper that we've seen this movie before, that safety in the hands of a company racing for profit has a way of becoming a tool for public relations rather than public protection, that the moment the money gets big enough, the guardrails have a way of quietly shifting. So here's the question you should sit with. In a world where AI companies control not just the technology, but the story about the technology, how would you even know if something went wrong? Because if Anthropic has truly built something that changes the balance of power on this planet, the fact that we're debating their marketing strategy might be exactly what they intended. And if they haven't, that might be even more terrifying. The race isn't just for the best AI anymore. It's for who gets to define what best even means. And right now, one company is very, very good at that game. What happens when the others catch up? Stay tuned to AI Pulse, where we cut through the hype and tell you what's actually happening at the frontier of AI. Hit subscribe because this space moves fast and you don't want to be the last to know.